Just said to me, "Come backup." And even though we have an OB1, you will have a backup plan, just in case. But it was a kind of thing that even the backup plan wasn't working. Look, at a point in time, Tony Tometi, I mean, to the point of tears, he said, guys, we need to get down and pray. We all need to get down and pray. Everything was ready. Our script was ready 3 weeks before today. In fact, our performance script and our star guide, Kids here, we'll send the performance script when we're in London, the star guide, because we're styling each and every performer and talent. The dancers had begun rehearsing. That's what we call them rehearsing. Weeks before now, we were ready, the plan and everything, we were ready to go. We had done a dry run on Friday between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Everybody had come to do their dry run. Everybody. And I think except Kili. But everybody had come to do their dry run. Oyema Messi had done a dry run on Friday. Joe Metal did a dry run. Blacko did his dry run. Did the dry run like the way it's supposed to be. Calvin Boycina, everybody did the dry run. We left there 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. And then we came back in the morning again. We tested the OB van again. We did everything. Then we started the pre-show with the joke carpet. The pre-show went well. We were in the green carpet. Everything went well. The car, the OB van was moving, everything. Then when we ended the pre-show, we were supposed to do 15 minutes of breakers, commercials. Because then this is now we're about to start the shooting. So we'll be at the anticipation. And then after the 15 minutes, we'll take the performance of Blacko and then we continue. Everything will be a. So 15 minutes after, no, actually at 10 minutes, I called the OB van. And I told them, say, look, the commercial, I've been doing 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to grab doors. After 10 minutes, so let's cut the last commercial, let's go into this. So Step, who is my head of production, executive, he said, cool down. For problem day or for fix them. What's okay, Charlie, time of day, what time can we go? We need to move now. We still say, yo, cool down. We can go down, we can go like, give us 20 minutes. I'm like, no, Step, we can't do 20 minutes. We can't do 20 minutes, maximum 5 minutes. He says, yo, so he says, okay, you do 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, when it was not working, I went into the OB van. I was like, guys, what was going on? What's happening? They said, just before we begin, the mixer was not like, it shut down. Oh, so I was like, okay, we have a backup plan. The small machine, the small thing that we brought to broadcast, it could take 8 cameras, but we're doing 30 cameras. First time anybody had done, because we have the multiple stages, 5 stages in one. So, so we said, okay, I'm willing for us to go with the 8 cameras. Let's connect it and move. That also was not working. Suzuku came, everybody came. Yo. So while sitting down, I picked my phone and I called my dad. Called me, I was like, yo, my dad is my worker. So I called him, I said, look, something is not going well. What is happening? Yeah, I called my dad. It's like, but you said, yeah, I called him, I was like, something is not going on well. But at this time, I can't speak to the chief imam. It's late. I need him to speak to him. He's like, but at this time, the old man, and the chief imam was in seclusion not too long ago. He had just come back about 4 days. And so he doesn't do a lot of, we don't worry a lot. So I was like, no, you need to speak to me. I mean, I'm Muslim, I know some of these things, right? Wow. So quickly, my father says, okay, you know what? You call me back. So, Tony Tometi. In the heat of all this, yeah, I was as a son of Papa, not of Fred Chief Imam, not on Bompire. Everybody has a special prayer they do. Before I set out to do anything, I will do my Zakat, Sadaka. It's a lot of things, that I believe in. So I called him, and afterwards, so I also went into my car and started to pray. Tommy, Step and Go, everybody, they got down, they moved the machines, everything, and we started to pray. So everybody was praying. The Christians, Tommy said, look, everybody should go and pray. Even if it's the Lord's Prayer, anything, we should just go and pray. So I went into my car to start praying. The guys went to pray, and all. I stood beside my car, did some. So whilst praying, my dad called me some few minutes and told me that, yo, you know what, a certain percent back, things will come back to normal, everything will go according to plan, will come out greater. I should just maintain my composure.
But Papa can't show the one behind it.
No, he didn't say anything like that. Okay. He only told me that a 10% back would happen. You know, so some few minutes after the prayers, so Tony and all the boys, everybody was going to do their prayers. Few minutes, one of the boys came back to me, hit the car and said, yo, looks like we're back. So
the same mixer may break it down.
Yeah.
The same mixer.
You know, fortunately, the guy that designed the OB van, is an investor and our partner. And so we had to reach out to him as well. He was speaking almost all that 40 to 1 hour, speaking to the technician, trying to get things out once we're all praying and getting things out. After we finished prayer, things kickstarted again. Then we started the production. And when we started the production, after Sheriff's performance again, the sound went bad. So, what is happening? So we paused a bit, went in and realized that a particular cable had removed. I know everybody may have their conspiracy theories, but for me, the way I think about things, I'm very positive about things.
It was too much. 5 stages. Screens. Into the switches. Pressure, better MCR. So.
Oh, no, it won't. The way it works, it doesn't work like that. In fact, the OB van was fully capturing, picking all the camera feed, all the sound and everything going out. That was supposed to be broadcasted. You know, so assuming because there was a third backup that was coming. Francis Doku with TV3, he also came into the van because they were concerned. They were broadcasting it. So Francis had actually requested for they also have a smaller device that could broadcast. So he requested for it to be brought. They brought it. You know, they were really supportive. They brought it. Their transmission team was on, really wanting to carry it and all of that. So they brought it. By the time they brought it, the mixer had miraculously started to work again. And then we started. Then we saw the sound thing, we fixed it, and then we continued to run.
Okay, alright, so I think and still opinion of that 3 music awards watch it we I'm thinking near me boy is here, Mama Kai already has been disturbing me past one of these days I should bring a spiritualist to come and explain the spiritual aspect of entertainment or the art and entertainment. Me intermediate. Me who say be well, I say a discussion bit is so people reaction I am piebo. Well, and your mom from Pay India group, one year event. So great.
Kwesi?
Sadiq can teach you what the technical hitch on a break I on the night. Say, yes, ma'am, be pretty Najibino, and to me, was it? And Pibo, and it's money material.
Well, Metanasi, near or no, or yeah, no, and not or kai. Ana wakano but say oja bibi kitu bi wo ho a eno no minya na mebisa no o say guy ne ba ko ba be ka kire o say chale we are back emra o mo bom pae ne ne ma no guy no ayeden no hu say we are back is it that or inside ho no hu say we are ne ma nyina so on its own and now say a be a guy ni ye bibi. Secondly, okay, the second time I call off no. Or say omu notice say cable no ba kun ayi. Abe kun so de we nso na affect the flow no kakra. Yeah. Enti no eno nso no e yade ba kun a ni me pesi me hu say okay cable na yiye no at what point na yiye when yi cable no ene niema kwesi
obi yi cable and when said I tell you and look who said the way I see it in my passing and power sorry car no sorry and no one check is a car no and shoe the car no one check is a oil baby a swati and sunti
battery terminal
one yeshi into a man a car no China oil na car go bo motor wings so for it's honey yeah
oil terminal nimpo rust etimi ba ho
about see by for
battery terminal.
It's ya ya koya empire no if you go so
obi atwikebo yeah na emre aye bompae ne me wo dem okwesi it was so uncomfortable from the beginning no ya gina ho saa show no start around 11 o said uti ho wani kum almost started 12 on yeah me say ya tena sia I say ye hu ni ayeye ho obi anso meka bibi enkyere yen obi nso meka bibi enkyere say omuntu mbo ase eti me te say almost say technical you with the transmitter and bisa say but why don't they record it nka omo record no munyi no ebia the following day na nka be boa omo because here ti ho saa na ebre ne afedi obi a me sure say binim kra po kofi ansa ne show na start nti no waka the side of the story ye beda nyame ase ye beda chief imam ase omo mo bom pa ye ne nyame nyina ye beda o ase but sometimes let's check the physical side too ebia obi epie bi a mistake bi wo baby eni man kitin bi happen show sir ye best start here be big off
only say machine is microphones now use machine where such a way said we have channel 1 to 16 channel 17 to 32 only say if I mistakenly punch channel 7 to 32 we be a baby and
we are through also
and you know say between channel 1 and channel 1 maybe channel 1 16 on channel 7 12 one ohona mini microphone but me person make asa me ponchia ohona me so I mistakenly come we buy the ponchi me ponchi 7 and 12 32 maybe with me and I hear me so make say abefo fear
because ebia no pa no ne obi akun ofie ansa no wo ba me say ebia kwezi ma hu se ya kan news awie a ye be entertainment review na bibia call off me hu bi da wo dem ansi ya kan news awie it happen more than once ye ba ye be starting bo se no pro hu ansi ye bonyu bibia call off ne technicians ya ba ne obi atwetwe bibi what happened okay electricity enipa bebre aye eduma ne niema obia mistakenly set me kokan bibi enema bebre call off intino empaibo no hu hia pa ye danyame ase ti etimi bompa ye but ya nso aye hwe physical side ne so kakra
ola fa microphone na me too so mo a mo share bi o TV so na auditorium ti na so critique kan na se bia na onni ma ko ntia e ma ko ba sa na nti shi nu ne so so wate na kwakwa hu asem biti ola
me that's about me meeting I didn't have that feeling say was saying that a solely who myself. I think that at a point in time we bet me up prepare even for film set bet me all the preparation we do settings most static production 1 2 na BBI jija either say camera crab freeze meanwhile my ye BBI we say oh everything is set let's go. If you also our live events here, I mean you do all the recce and everything, but I do say event name one yen shas na man for no na normal starting age it happens. it happens. Technically, it is always, possible. It's not no can I say they had a plan B and plan C. They have a backup even for the generator. They had another backup for the standby generator. No, so it meant that with them, and I'm making the technical part and I'm making. So sometimes you do all the recce that you think you have to do in the world, but to be do honor, maybe be a ajija.
So technical how? Because me person
oh, but say uti no kana or say a to maybe makes an ethical. Makes an ethical. It happens. It means to be another na kebu kitwe and a chime free baby or say na bibi article. A to be so at the pressure.
Makes an ethical and miraculously. One can't technically say miraculously came back.
Well, that is not spiritual. Miraculously, my baby drew has some demo. It is not. It's not solely a spiritual statement.
One miracle has to do with spiritual things.
No, people. I mean, it's a choice of word. Words are labels.
It is not choice of
No, it's a choice of word.
Saying miracle has to do with spiritualism. It's not.
And me so me who is me na me kasa and I may say me who is
The fact that we need because you are also establishing a point. I'm saying that miracles have to do with spiritual stuff.
and I'm saying me who is
It means that we need.
there be any na meaning.
You don't know. Let's move on.
There be I know, but I don't ascribe my miracle always to spiritualism.
He didn't say when it has to do with he said miraculously.
It's a choice of word. A word, a brofo.
Google. So far, Google.
No, me say it's a choice of word.
Let's not argue. I'm not put here. You are.
I'm up with it and make us say a choice of word. It does not necessarily mean that it had everything to do with spirit. No, but we all understand miracle. You say Counselor Bay. It's
If you don't want to do that, I'll take you off.
oh.
I want
Man also boy he's helping.
Enye na
And
mehwe.
you know what happening.
There enye no
Our
bacho.
miracle, an extraordinary.
Baby, I don't see the reason he has a phone. You should take
O si
No,
olam
me
kan.
phone na freezy.
Jefari an man no kan.
Okay, so Socrates the beer man definition of miracle, an extraordinary event manifesting divine intervention in human affairs.
Thank you.
The healing miracle described in the Gospels.
Thank you.
Extremely outstanding and unusual event, thing or accomplishment.
It's okay now you understand.
No, there are two. Don't limit yourself to one. An
There are even
extremely
three.
outstanding and unusual event, thing or accomplishment. Hello.
No,
Oh, there's
kind
also
boy.
another one here.
I'm reading what I have.
Okay. An extraordinary and welcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific
Thank
laws
you.
and is therefore attributed to the divine agency.
Thank you. Because
Them
supernatural.
reading, there's nothing divine. The bridge is a miracle of engineering. Where's the spirituality in this? If I
event-
say a bridge is a miracle of engineering, where's the spirituality?
Miracle of.
Engineering.
Thank you.
So where's
The
the spirituality?
miracle-
in this?
Anytime you
also
hear
been
the word
defined.
miracle, it
It
means
has been
that
defined already.
it is something beyond scientific explanation because it's spiritual.
Bruh.
Ah,
The bridge.
wait, bro,
This-
for
the
the actual
English
no.
statement I'm giving you now
Miracle.
as an example.
Miracle.
I say the bridge is a miracle of
The word
engineering.
The word
miracle.
miracle has been defined
Spirituality
The
earlier.
word
in there.
miracle.
Has been
No.
They
defined
say where's
earlier.
the spirituality in
No,
there?
this sentence is different from what we are talking
It's an
about.
example of usage.
No.
No.
The real
No.
context was
Oh,
used.
contested by
He
mommy.
said,
It's an example. It's an numbers in my kind of. Words are labels. I mean, you choose words you want to describe events with. It's evident to me, go so. Medasia. It's the fact that he used the word miraculously doesn't necessarily mean that he's looking at the spiritual side. Me, it's not study free the technical bits. Look, over to me, I be but he drew maybe on the D-Day, on the eve of the event, and normal bit to me assistant. And I would see as no kana. He was so stressed. No, he decided to call me Papa. He was so stressed because he felt like everything is we've checked, everything is checked. So me, me call and
Me a question.
so nom home kwai mami nduro. Was he was so stressed that he had to I mean, I'm distressed in the show. He didn't use that word. Me say he was so stressed that he had to call his father. For what? Two things. Comfort and Bible. I told me we are so stressed. Jesus Christ.
Chief Imam.
Chief Imam, where you used to.
Aye.
And now where Muhammad.
Or in years.
I told me words of encouragement alone. It doesn't need to be spiritual.
From who?
Not Chief Imam.
That is his God. Ah, what are you talking about? Yes, that is his God.
Why are you doing that?
Master, people talk to bottles because that's their God. It's deity.
Did he say Chief Imam?
That's what he said.
Say me kwa we na me frɛ Kosi Agbaje say boss asonhye bi o na who comfort me is that spiritual? No, but say what's me come opinion na
Don't create the impression.
This is how I understand the case and I'm presenting it as such.
We are the guide. Into the first opinion, so opinion
but who determines if you and I say this I make a word you said be who is that word not make out.
Because all can say man, some bet you can say there say now can. It might be even libelous. You sit here and you think that it's not libelous. And I'll be whether I'll be invested with that power. And you don't sit here and question and say, who did? Unfortunately, for you, we hosts, I will determine those things. That's the unfortunate aspect.
But, boss, what's the main your book case? And I also mean come margin. And I make sure I said this is how I understand the person speaking.
Yes, but I'm saying who I also as the one that I have to guide you. Be guided.
Oh, I'm sure the team for no mutin is any butuna me to go on. They appreciate said.
You have been guided, so go on.
They appreciate said they make no. It been better myself said, look, actually maybe we are so stressed out that you don't even think prayer, you think motivation. Me friend me papa at the end of the day, dear send a papa ne catch no, dear no kind. I say oh bibia beba bibia be. Is that not the summers of what the man said? What can I say just me more pie mouth. Well, I mean he didn't do that. Afraid man not now. No, was he there? Was it TV mama having no free solid BBB or KBB every ABBA? If they don't want to disturb him. So why is it everybody wants us to think the same way? Why? I am saying, based on the way I listen to him, my understanding of what he's saying is that he didn't attribute everything to spirituality alone. I started by the technical part and say there were technical hitches, which he also agreed. But a normal near fix a normal near fix na and we are doing what friend papa. Papa, my idea, but I didn't and whoa, Papa say and to TV man has so bet me a Kenyan send and I'll be a rechiche send the. What is the big deal? Why are we making things so difficult for people to understand that I'm making sense here? It's no patch whether I'm making sense to you. I know that people are listening, they enjoy the sense making that I'm putting up. I think that yes.
I've not said that.
Me not maker.
Yeah, but Ola, you have to stop doing these things. These things, when you continue doing these things, I'll have issues with you. Don't say it's not who now can boss. You are saying say me. If you are not making sense, I'm saying I've not said that. So don't.
Even when I'm doing a subjective statement, it becomes so debatable.
Stop doing that. You are a host.
No, I'm a panel here.
No, you are a host. Don't come and sit here and do that. If you do that, have it.
So, the American means some margin in say he did not impugn spirituality to everything that happened. He looked at the things from two sects. Utiena or catch state, we can't do this in 15 minutes. Let's do it in 2 minutes. And if he was all about spirituality, I didn't start here but he didn't start that way. All Kasan was saying, or positive minded. Or you be a same or the baby the photo. That is a good leader. That is a guy who knows what he's about. Midi chat one. The entire man come baby here is a oh, they were sabotaged. Oh, they were sabotaged. And the guy has been so careful not to use that word or even agree to that one. I think I applaud his sense of communication. I think that when you answer for the do, when you quite fast can't say creative problem. And no one why you know.
Crazy, me too.
Yeah. Bruh, I think sir for event, yes, so one can yeah. ACC stage, so speakers are hold on for energy in terms of ye adwuma ye production mu no the to Sadiq no I think say enye first time a regular occurrence see a production we see what my fa mixer e wa Accra what my confirm mixer e wa Accra we call it bit my swama bit my test hello try my voice 1 2 e be adwuma ba fa de kokoduru kwawu embra abetifi ye see bibia wie ye enye adwuma. It's a regular thing that me menhu several times based on the Hills program you know it microphone speaker whole ya shishe bibia wie speaker one side a call off show you so yes starting at that moment oh yeah day afena we took our bank line abe first speaker so for aba and also birthday so I think say ono looking at the position any of stress I want from the whole night set up on 1 year any expectation in do a big ho and at that moment anxiety of said the echo now I feel aggressiveness now more anxiety level now kosoro every human being at that particular moment you try to attribute it to some either domestic forces or spiritual forces. It can also be a human error. It could also be. It is said your car said later no they found out said there's a cable B and there too. What of say Nippon call your installations no and out of the heat of the moment and also a mistake and one connected to a particular cable no. What would have happened? It could also be until when it comes to some of these things, obia one individual belief. See, ya why cancer ya can be sometimes because it can be na cancer abasa on there. O believe in a different thing because why you mortuary on in some na try na ye juma order it when or believe be about a lot of things. You obi all know to make it to say enya possible. No more my interpretations. I think say it's better late than never. The most important thing, and say, finally, what people are expecting came back. There was light, there was sound. The show went on, and as I say, event organizer BIG Tum said, those times show you now we are Gloryland way. I'm sure, sir, Saturday to Sadiki, you had your fair share of it at Gloryland. It could either be sound or it could either be light. What go through. It is one of the moments as an event organizer when you go through, as I said to me, now so hold the fort and then be able to. The only part now me feel some cases what here was a communication to the audience. In between that time, as I said, was show the pressure na a good also. There should be a formal way over to me. I'm going to be a address audience and say, this is what we are going through. And please bear with us. In the next 20-30 minutes, we are working for things to get back. And obi a ofi say, what Jessica, our baby program, no program, no, a delay, no, obetumi assess, oh, and yet organizers no force to say, yeah, better hand about 12 midnight, about to say the next okay, about 12 midnight, near she program, nasi. But then there's a technical hitch. BB costume, they are resolving it. Ebema akoma bi susu etuma toniyem. So basically, from the whole thing, any they see in he may have called his father based on a personal relationship or any papa on several issues as individual. Yeah, why? Just some two say now. Obi be free Yesu. Obi be free. Kwesi what a play more. Kumasi na a turbulence. Do you see the voices we hear? What problem? No turbulence. I said the air baffle. I want to bet you yes, but no be there. No big boy because I will be Antonia man. No big they be Musukitom Rosary. No more Trinity thing. Obia one believes us at time. No, Obia one the BB or person believe in say. My boss idea we are a bit to save me in more. So these are some of the few me primary commenter met me account on what actually happened. But consistently media and there I would say technical hitches happens to every event organizer. When George Quick Casas here or Becan the actual 1 year crowd we show Sadiq de Quabeketwa. Opa for near 80 Hammond. Do Becacho on Tese a bear you cry. Offer Parkway are coming TV3. Those time music. Tese and Yasam Ketwa. We've had different of it. And I sure say he has had his fair share of it. Maybe next year he may have a different plan to make sure that such does not happen again.
Okay.
Bra. Adia bakwa ubia ka me ne nya adwen da wa asase so say spirituality doesn't supersede technicality. Obi obeka bia na say onye nipa. Na sad nature be kan sa ne say nipa da se nya ye nam asase so yi. Ye sunsun. Ye soul, ye spirit, ye body. Na what you say cable be atu. Why do me be a chinye? It will never be say technician or installation in Nava cable na she. Me make catch up. What not from Mike yechi? Masa, here, Modia, one nam keke. And I muka se school call keke. Ye be cable. A technician dia she.
So, why the cable?
Yes, some things didn't you have share. Didn't you have share no? Eko kwa mu ba yen kasa. Didn't you wura baby a adwuma bi ya ubisa asama yen kasa no nya ntiase. Ento wada. Eh, asem wo yetumi ya no ntra ba ma. Etise nkofo mi eni ko asi enko to so asama do aso uwu aba ho. Enu nam se yetumi nkyira wase.
You know, okay.
Kwesi. Bratio, nkofo bi there are things you take it ra. Sorry, check your car. Check your tire, check your oil, check your whatever it is. You bet done car now. You bet done no. No, you can do so you can say what I want to say.
Oh, kwesi makabibi.
My body.
What body?
And where you know? Where you know?
What body?
O space ira crash show pepem. O ka say agro. Tie. Mami wie. Your car can be everything. A brand new car walk out. BBI pepe.
BBI full. Until 2 car na say engine no say about because maybe oil you
A best strange young. What's that for you? No, finally, no baga so be able no more. Na nanya sa. Na entertainment ma shakabete tete car. Car elrani fi akra.
Yes,
Eko Togo.
Ebetimi ahye.
Mimisa wasem.
Mi se ebetimi ahye ka.
Onye fita.
Mi ye fita ni.
Kabre
Me hu bi.
original mechanic, right?
Yes.
eti intatia ehye kabretem eda fuel pot nu
Yeah.
Ye wie karane sa ye humagia red antepie wo kabretem so na wo wadie ne se
Ka na si ho no nim ba dia nkasia.
oh mami kase wie bra
Ya na engine mu ni.
bra woni bibia e friend no supernatural. You see, supernatural is an event or an occurrence that is beyond scientific explanation. So there's always a place that you can not explain. You leave it there. It is a Sadiq. First point of call. Or see, a shot, you know. All the troubleshooting thing went on. So he dealt with the physical. Then he realized that, or your back, ewo GDA. E want tiasie e was supreme obi mu enti oka say si aye ntoto ye nyina ewie a okwa the book of Jonah chapter 1 na kan verse 4 na you see na omhu Jonah tua ne sika betena boat nu mu say ye nko na me pese me ko kuro foforo bi so e na nkrofo ne gi Jonah sika ye ma ne kwan say ko na ko trem watua nsika ntokoda ne ba bi din but etu baby esi as watch and I'm gonna say esi won epono so e ma sellers ni ye technical troubleshooting nyama mo di tu kwa nyina mo di tu nsuo no because technically no say oh nsuo so ya basa na wo load you lighten the ship. They did it. At the end of the day they went back and said, can everybody call this God? Finally it was a spiritual attack from Jonah. Eti obi nkase technically be bien to me see there be by a say the opportunity for a technical hitch ebetimia bus in the way so be useful for a spiritual entity so be gdn say from chief imam mama I said the question is beyond technical experience. That is the person's miraculous recovery of sound. Only miraculous recovery of sound no I say ni papa ek of friend say ni chief mama nka so mama 10 minutes and ni papa ba ko catch and say bibia beko yesesia. Then there was a miraculous and events that occur beyond spiritual scientific explanation.
So let me say this before because Ola Banta be created impression. He said as if I want Ola to speak to my Obia and come in mind. If you listen to voice now boy closely, he said the oracle.
And then papa.
Yes.
Yes, that's what he said.
Yes.
Yes.
So wasn't about even just
Father-son relationship.
an advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deity. It's not make us say, yeah, to the idea. Yeah, the technical ni firm. Now one so as an event be any as a Jumedia ye. Abrantia be. I want another sister station, but radios to say na aka say yeah. And I say and tell you one say hey baby or better mic no 7 years.
Wow.
I've not started kasa. Abrantia bi okromu a. Akonye transition na ati we a ye show yi on tena bi so da. Na akonye si o. Oye show 4 hours ogina ho. Enye say artistry. Dey ya kan say obi dwin say obi ayi bon samaye. Dey bi gidie. Eji eni yedi. Enti say Hasadik amaya ati ase say. Ono de ne say the oracle spoke to Chief Imam and miraculously whatever the technician thought was a technical problem was solved. Meaning the next part of conversation is Ujidi adiko shomuno. Ena ebe chire se den na beye. Sadiq and to me engineer one be kan o podium no so say mesrem o. Muma me 10 minutes 5 minutes because on na dream no. E to be event see sa na e ba be address audience na. Ye hwe the technicality say e bi a chale console na ye hye. And you doom like a crowd for the next 28 minutes. Ebe reboot to I say, Masa, esi wo theater da. Ya machine set bibia ye the patient that so. Oxygen flow pepe. Wo the patient no to so a. Masa, ye me sisi. Ye di obi awura meme say, ye di obi awura MRI mu. MRI machine ya yesi we. Ewura mu, aye de say ye nyina. Machine ye djuma. Ye bi ko ma sim e ko off. And a machine I use no say trouble beba so am I troubleshooting event there by finally papa nanka say ni tum no and no catch them say mesira mo manka a b c d awie nti mo me 2 minutes dey mara enti Sadiq ni experience no enye bibia na ye ka but at least we be provoke some bits of the oil sabotage yo dan yo dia ono kan ni nyina kire say at the end of the day the show went on because there was a miraculous intervention. Mimi miraculous intervention deeper. I say yes, he said in so. You say you timi di nsu a wa we bia no. Amo abo am we wuda. Enti unsuro hwe ya. Ude so musa but he has a belief say even if somebody will sabotage or not, he has done technical correction properly. He has done sound check properly. So if everything is not working, can I turn on to my deity? And I think that is right for him. And you say, ya shows a check, ya event a check, but ya doing the other side. That the possibility of supernatural intervening in your natural. Bet me man go yema. Me ho na me gina.
Remember make us as possible. Live shows are very different from any other thing. Ubeye wo technical dress rehearsal. ubeye bibia on the D-Day live show na bibi kitikitikibi na asay. So on this note now, I would love to actually appreciate Woma over the years on my live events, but then for some reason I say disregarded the work that goes into producing a live show and doing it so well. A bit to say Echo House on my event, I can say huge events, and on my so it becomes successful. What is different and what is working for them? I feel one more Omuya Diano, I was saying I appreciate you almost. Sadiq and his team, they did very well. Sadiq and his team did very well on the night because, as I said, it's live. Anything can happen. Obishu cry, bet me I could tear one wrong wire, so now I have a big problem. And to anybody that does live shows, big ups to you. You are the real MVPs. Edumano, you can't sit somewhere and say because we did technical rehearsal on the night of performance, it will all be the same. So anybody that has done live event and have been consistent and has been successful, congratulations to all of them.
A few more voices in command still are being Sadiq of 3 Music TV. So it's your way
right? For which reason that stops them from partnering platforms that they actually need. You know, it's we say it every time background. Like, you know, look, I won't mention a particular brand that the international we had conversations last year. Actually went to
because I know as a Bisano Nefa, I think sponsorship so me a such a beautiful, epic show.
No headline sponsor. Why? Is it not attractive to sponsors? I mean, look at the eyeballs that they gave us. Obia. In fact, you are a marketing cost person. Why have you secured any headline sponsor? Maybe a 3 music awards. Maybe a 3 music awards. Anyway. I don't know who have sponsors.
I'm about to say the harshest truth that nobody likes to say for fear of being victimized, right? There are a lot of brands with executives, and they said they cancel the back. There's a certain level of marketing in this area where there's a certain fixation and focus. And about whatever reason, right? For which reason that stops them from partnering platforms that they actually need. You know, we say it every time background. Like, you know, I mentioned a particular brand that the international we had conversations last year. Actually went into the international to secure a particular sponsorship for the awards, and then the fans came in here. When the fans came in here, the guys told the international team, no, they didn't want to do partner with events of that nature and blah 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 and all of that. 2 to 3 weeks after, they were partnering with events of similar nature, and so then my guy called. No, I don't think it's sabotage. I think it's marketing in this lack of market discipline. You know, where there's a certain overfixation on Charlie. If we need to ensure that if we're giving them 300K, we need 50% back. So they will do forget them. You know, but there's a new realm coming where a lot of international brands are looking in and using Ghana as a focal point for their marketing. YouTube, Instagram, Boomplay. In December, YouTube, Instagram, Boomplay had pumped money into events in Ghana here than the local brands.
Twitter,
than the local brands. So we're actually getting there where you will get to the point where if you do not, and I keep saying to them, a lot of things are changing.
Now,
okay, so sponsorship more and more. Cancer mention as if you so meaning Senya as in Bisano to call and said we also looking at headline sponsor. I say they must we necessarily have a headline sponsor for some of these AD award schemes? This is the 5th edition. Only headline sponsor. They have some sponsors on it. I think a number of them. I'm sure so when you begin to crack if you want to say. But there's something Sadiq Klein very important. Most of these companies, you pay sponsors for one say for events. Yeah, marketing guys for me and they say, where's your show about $300,000 CBC? 300,000. Marketing guy they promote about 50% of it. And these things we know it's been going on. You come and say, come on,
kickback.
And we pay more.
Yeah.
Issue of sponsorship with you.
Right. With me share company owner. I'm gonna show key interest in your product and event. Emma unso no company owner no pour more ideas about what you're doing as an event organizer. No I catch you say. Main person make jam system in it, for official letter bra. What the bar Fabre marketing manager Ola. Nakacha say me say Fabra. Na yen sponsor event no. What the letter na call officially. Umpe and tata like ube tata onananti. No I din. O trying letter na call August show near December. November oko frɛ Ola bisa say letter na there oh boss ntrase. Nyame ya adom ye party ko hia boss na see na wo de me de ade kan am so me di ma Ola o. Ah na utie ya Ola dam ho. Ola o boss frɛ o. O see letter no. Boss na me no be kan no. Eno a. Oh. Na utie ye na boss ni hia o be o see. Na me de me yo, but Ola see. U program nanka sankasa no. Ese brand. Where mu anam ho no. Ye de ade ma wo ton a ese no. Enti ono as a marketing expert no. Ohun se ye mfa bibi sa embrel. Bema. Ye wo yankasa ye local breeds. We see local breeds. Ye nkrofo ye gurumu won. Ye ntua won fees de. Yakonya international me fi Ghana. Akwa brochi amanone. Ako shi obi owo ni product for Ghana. Why so di ni sika ewura because wa hwe me event no so be so ye. Ono ni local market tia no wo ha no. Person negotiate the Sadiq K. Ye di $50,000 re ba dia. Ye di any 30,000 o. And I demand that ye je 50,000 papa ne de bra no ho no. Nyamo pesa wo ye no. No more billboards no. Ono marketing guy no give me $30,000 no. Ono no bema. On consider no. And once a woman in Tino, or catch any straightforward say, we all the toa any ye, and told me come more beer on no man $30,000. And you one big problem I hear. Sadiq Kaya, what can you credit? But me dana say one more brands. And I am so I told me I say about brands, and I said yeah more mileage. As for sponsorship in this industry, no, it is whom you know. And who has the power to do what he wants to do for you. But pass a product and now brand no person de we shame you have eyeballs, you have what share obi share Twitter handle or see you have about 2 million followers. So I think say eyeball everything will be from me boy. No before Franco say he has 2 million followers but he's not normal. He's sick. The people who come, I mean he come to do that, come and show his back. But the eyeballs no came as 2 million because people be in a breast, be in a chair, I get nyas, whatever. Bruh, as for sponsorship, MCG says Sanko school for from. As some most of the marketing guys. Nandami adum near you were the visa company now shiawon. No many was three. Almost see and do 32. Near no was smiley. Boss me catch say where's me amount? That's so shower Charlie. As for you there when I watch your last year event, it was solid for me. Oh. I don't know. You need to have some plan for marketing. National boss is not saying me about sponsorship. So Sadiq is right. How do we get sponsorship package properly? And no can say international market neighbor. On the sideline a local market. Uti China needs sponsor what their pa. Meaning say no, you need to bring the Ghana brand. You need to help build Ghana, the product in Ghana. And why are you going to go and bring China product? And instead of Ghanaian people are doing this, but me can't. Even show me ye. Obit me soccer say you are a Christian. Why do you have to allow a quality company to come and sponsor your event, orgasm conference? No. And to my din ma call and local event like omo ye non alcoholic, omo ye Christopher ho. Okay, the church doesn't really agree with sex and the issues you are doing. Now, so many alcohol, but show us here. So for now, next one, like I say, you can't ask, alcoholic company to sponsor your thing. Now, my head, but a marketing manager of an alcoholic company comes to sow a bigger soul for us to finish building the church. And you tell me there's a lot of confusion with what we are doing. Media they say, Mr. Wobra, Missy Form no. Ushe wo we drive time do na almost at ni asoro nyome bo a obi tisa be ko tumi worship sa wa ne kotobi ye bega se epon a no start tonga toli be ma nya juma enu so nya religious enti juma ye omunti ase Sadiq is right. There is fatigue in the place. It's not COVID. It's an intentional wickedness on some of your marketing personnel who, because of their greed, doesn't want to put the product at where it is. But one day, the judgment seat will come.
Okay.
I didn't hear most of Nadia, and I went to the washroom a bit. But I think so when it comes to sponsorship and having a headliner, why everybody peace?
No, spiritual exercise.
Everybody peace.
No, a spiritual attack. A spiritual attack.
Oh, no, I went to pee. I went to pee.
Okay, I think that one you needn't have to mention it.
Yeah.
Why?
So be a who
Obisano, uko pia na.
The one misali sa.
O say abia uko pia.
Okay, I excused myself a bit on the now moving to the topic at hand.
But once one can go be
I excused myself a bit. I didn't go to the washroom. I went outside. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so I think when it comes to sponsorship, especially headline sponsorship of events, to say award shows, and I say any event there, I think what people neglect, they say they like, I mean, yeah, audience now, and I say, yeah, patronizing events, no. We look at the fact, say, oh, yeah, events be when you big sponsorship, now you can say, oh wow, this guy is doing well. But in natural, and in reality, no, this sponsorship, they also come with a lot of limitations. Certain things and ka with freedom no. Trust me, unya sa freedom nibium. And in comfort, so they would have supported you willingly because knowing say you don't have any major headline sponsor, no, they don't support willingly. So imagine say when you example, my VGM, Vodafone can say, oh, catch artist, say can't perform for because hey, Abraham needs a Vodafone and support. Do you get it? That conversation too, it becomes a bit tedious for the event organizers. Yenka about sponsorship, no, Maya neglected the other side of sponsorship when they get it. Because if you are telling music, but mind you, say onya any headline sponsor or this shema, the needs of the headline sponsor had to be inculcated in the award, which might not go the way you've been seeing the 3 music awards. It's I think the small way or the way they are going about it, they should go about it. And we also pray that they get a headline sponsor, but make sure say once they get a headline sponsor and something is